Hello world! Welcome back to this tutorial on building a Linux from scratch system. Now in the last video we have talked about building the system so far that we have all these directories and we've created all these users and groups. And now we want to proceed compiling more stuff in chapter 7. So what the Linux from Scratch book now says is before we've so we are running this LFS script, right? And here we go into the change root environment. And then that change root environment does all that stuff. And then they say they want to run another bash on top of that change root environment, like this. So the reason for that is that the first bash that we are running in that change root has some problems. For example, because we are running this as root, but inside that change root environment, this etc password file didn't even exist. So from inside that, you would have some problems because you're running as a user ID that doesn't have any user attached to it, at least at the start of this script. So after we've created that, then we make another bash, and that doesn't have these problems anymore at that point. If you ask me, I'm really not sure why they do this stuff inside the change root environment in the first place. Because from my understanding, I don't think there is a good reason why you shouldn't do that already in the LFS script before going into the change root environment. I mean, also these creating all these directories, you could do that outside of the change root, you know. Symlinks, I'm not sure if that would work outside the change root, but etc hosts could be created outside the change root. I'm really not sure why they do that inside the change root, but I guess they have some good reason for that, so I will just accept that. But I don't think there is really it's really necessary to put the LFS script, a bash on top of a broken bash on top of the bash script, and then a working bash on top of that. I think it would make sense. I think it makes more sense to just exit the change root at that point and then just enter the change root again. So we might do this inside a loop. We will just have another script. Okay. script. So what do we do in here? Well, we want to continue installing packages. So I will just copy this. Package install chapter 7. Which packages do we need now? We need libstd C++, get text, Bison, Perl, Python, text info, and util Linux. Okay, these are the packages that we want to install. So now I've created all these files here. And now I will just again copy these compile instructions here. Okay, so inside change roots 2, we will try to install these. We might want to set LFS to nothing because I don't know, maybe some script could try to use the variable, and since we are in the change root, there's really no prefix to our slash whatever, so I think it makes sense to set this to an empty string. And also when we start this as root, and root has the home directory /root, and when we run a bash, normally the directory that you start in is your home directory, so I think we might be in the wrong directory here. So I'm gonna cd to sources. Okay. Okay, so the Linux from Scratch book now, I don't know why they do this here. Create a few more files for logging and give them certain permissions. So I think they need to be there for the kernel to write its logs. I don't know why they put the creation of these files here, but yeah, whatever, I will just leave them there. And yeah, I think so. We have inside change root 2 lf.sh. We have prepared change root. Then we are running these scripts in a loop. Maybe put quotation marks around them. Okay, yeah, doesn't look too bad, so let's run this. Okay, now we are running change root 2. We've created these files. And this does not look good. Okay, extracting tar.xz file. xz cannot exec, no such file or directory. That's weird. Let's see. Okay, something that immediately jumps at me is that there is no xz directory here, which I think should be there. Let's look at the log files. There is no xz.log. That's weird. Let's see. Oh, look at that. The package in the packages CSV wasn't named xz. Okay, that explains what's going on. So when I tried to install xz, it would just not have found it because of this. So how do I go on from here? Okay, so of course we have the problem that these virtual file systems are mounted at this point, so where am I? Yeah, I think I will just reboot here. That doesn't make sense like this. Okay, so I have rebooted now. First thing we need to do after rebooting mount the USB key. Okay. So good. Okay, so XZ was not compiled before, so I will do this here, but to be sure, I will put an exit behind that because yeah, these because we are changing the owner of everything here, and I don't want to do that unless I'm sure that XZ has successfully compiled. So so now you have the problem that all your directory belong to root. So I will yeah, just take the ownership back for now. Okay, this is going to take a while because we already have a lot of files there. Okay. So if we hadn't done that, then the compilation of XZ might have failed because we are compiling as user, and if it tries to install that on bin or wherever, and bin is owned by root, that wouldn't work. So that's why I took the ownership back. Okay. Yes, now it's extracting XZ. Okay, this looks fine. So now I'm going to remove that again here. And now we can run the chapter 7 codes again. That looks better so far. Okay, error 2. That doesn't look good. Yeah. LD cannot find lib and curses W. Okay. Well, maybe that's not the first thing that has failed, so let's look at the log files first. Maybe there was an error before, and so What are we installing? So the first thing we install is libstdc++. Go down to the end of the log file. Make leaving directory. That sounds reasonable. That doesn't sound like anything had failed there. Then get text. So a long log, as you can see here on the right, looks. The long log file sounds like most of it worked well. Okay, some warnings here. Make leaving directory, make leaving directory, make leaving directory. That sounds good normally. Bison. Make leaving directory. Perl. Oh. Okay. That doesn't look good. 14 lines of code does not sound like 14 lines of log file does not sound like a successful build. Okay, let's make sure your kit is complete. Checking. Looking, it seems to look for files and they aren't there. Okay. What I notice, these files all start with a dot. So these are hidden files. What is going on here? Okay, I'm telling it to show hidden files. Yes, okay. These files are actually not here. Let's see, are they somewhere else? Okay. Perl 532. Ah, here they are. Okay, I know what's going on. Here in our package installer, right, we have we create this this target directory, right, and then we extract the tarball, go into that directory, and then we move everything. So if we unpack this tarball, and then we have this directory Perl 532 / Perl 532, and this was this whole thing where I said if everything is in one directory, we just pull everything out of that directory. And that has not worked for these 4 here. So I could just move them manually now, but actually that wouldn't work, because when I run this again, the directory is just going to be removed and recreated, so that we will have the same problem again. So instead of moving star, I will move star, comma, dot star. So we explicitly include hidden files. Wait. I almost ran this, but that would be a waste of time. Because libstandard C++ getText and Bison ran through properly. And let's see. Python. Yeah, that doesn't look suspicious. It looks okay. What else do we have? Text info. It's complaining that Perl isn't there. Yeah, Perl wasn't there, so this one is correct to complain. And util Linux had this problem that it couldn't find ncurses, but I will run this now, and then we'll see. So Python looked like it went through also, so I'm going to run it like this. Okay, this is already more output than we had in that log file, so it looks like it's doing better now. Okay, while that's running, let's see. Util Linux had complained about ncurses, so it was not able to find -l ncurses w. Now, just from my experience as programmer, I can just tell you, not finding -l something means that it is looking for a file named lib ncurses w.so, shared object, so something like a DLL file under Windows. So why does it not find this file? I will just put a wildcard here behind the name. Yeah, okay, let's just redirect these error messages. Okay, sources is not what we are looking for. So we have lib ncurses w, so6 and so6.2. And we have user lib ncurses so. So for whatever reason, it seems like the linker is looking in this directory, but not in this directory, because if it looked into this directory, user lib, it would find a lib ncurses.so. So it seems like it's really looking in this lib directory. I will just make a symlink. No, not a symlink. I will do a hard link. So I will just a hard link is basically like a copy of the file, except that you're not using the twice as much disk space. So a hard link really means that you have two different entries in your file system for the same location on the hard drive. So, oops, what has happened now? Okay, so if it's looking at the lib directory, now it should find lib ncurses wso. And it's still compiling Perl, so I think this might have been early enough that maybe this util Linux compilation will later run through, maybe. But okay, so yeah, I will just let this run for now again. Okay, it has finished. I'm not sure if I should be happy or suspicious, because this was relatively fast. Let's see. Okay, this was as far as it had gotten before, I think, so it seems like it's gotten further at least. Leaving directory, leaving directory, leaving directory. That is something that you see in recursive calls from the make program. Text info. Oh, a lot of log file here. Leaving directory, leaving directory, leaving directory. And Perl. That's a lot of log file. Warnings. Okay, it's complaining a bit about locales, but since this is still just a temporary system, you know, B is not the final system that we are building, I think it's okay. Setting locale failed. Falling back to standard locale. Okay, so it didn't end with a warning, with an error message. I mean, we have an error message here, but it says it was able to do with that, so I think that looks like it looks fine. Boy, look at that. It's 25,000 lines of log file. Okay, whatever. So yeah, anyhow, this video took a bit longer than I expected, but hey, at least with some fixing errors, that at least teaches you some interesting things. The lighting is bad. I'm just seeing that on that little display on my camera. Okay, so yeah, it took a bit longer, so I think I will just stop it here. I wanted to go into chapter 8 today, but so okay, at least we've finished chapter 7. The Linux from Scratch book at the end of chapter 7 actually does a little bit more. So they tell you to delete a few things and some documentation, for example, for the programs, because they are only temporary programs, so you don't need the documentation for them, and remove the debug symbols from the binaries. But 90 megabytes, that's not so much. Yeah, I mean, the system is around 5 gigabytes now, and we would be saving 120 megabytes roundabout, so that's not worth it if you ask me. So yeah, I will just stop it here, and yeah, maybe we should still try to unmount this so this should unmount dev PTS and dev. Okay, this time it worked. Last time unmounting dev didn't work, so that's why I had to reboot. Yeah, okay. So now we've unmounted these things. The thing about the backup that I had tried before, this doesn't work when these directories are mounted. So that's why it was completely futile to try and make a backup when I tried last time. So but now I could make a backup because this time these directories are not mounted, and yeah, as you've seen, you can really have some trouble when when these directories are mounted. For example, my Google Chrome crashes when that happens, and you cannot start it again. So I'm not sure what's going on there, but yeah, if you cannot unmount, just reboot. And yeah. Okay, so again, this is enough for today, so see you next time, and if you liked the video, like, share, subscribe, and see you next time. Bye.